Michigan State transfer has delivered again.
Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier got swept up in an
What's been your approach, or did it click over time to say when a Levitt or a Seton leaves campus and he doesn't commit or sign, that you say that's not good enough, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going to see him? That's not commonplace with coaches around the country.
I don't know. I just know how I do things. There's a good and bad to it. I'm extremely competitive, and I don't really do well with no. So that just makes me more competitive when someone says no. So sometimes that happens in recruiting. They say no, but I think that's my job. That's my job to LSU. And kind of on a different note, when people ask about the social media and why do you do it, everything that I do is for the place of where I coach at, for that school, for those players and those fans. And that makes me not very liked a lot of times by other ones. And so it's the same in that. Like my job, I'm hired here, is to go sign the best players, regardless of whether that means I got to go get on another plane or find a plane and show up somewhere and walk through Knoxville Airport, to find the guy. And
then came the rain. It's bizarre. And it was like a freezing rain too. Buckets of it. Buckets of rain. And yeah, it's a little cold. So hopefully you guys are doing a lot better than we are here with that Louisiana weather, and I'm sure you absolutely are. We have so much to dissect with LSU spring, because there's so much going on that I just feel like you have to put all of this into one video and just go for the jugular, go in for the kill, because this is exciting times in LSU sports, not just LSU football, but LSU sports in general. It's we've always been very LSU football driven, right? That's been the only sport we've really covered. We've given other sports their due, but we've really stick to football purely. This is the first time I've ever been like, there's such a it's not just that winning is a possibility with these other sports. It's just the absolute energy and just the vibe. You want to be around Jay Johnson and what he's building in LSU baseball. You want to be around now bringing in Will Wade. You want to be around Kim Mulkey and what she's always about, which we have some on Kim Mulkey today being at LSU football practice. Some footage there from Jacob Verdin, which all of this stunning footage is from Jacob Verdin. If you haven't followed the Verdin Verdict, definitely do. He also has a podcast that's really good as well. This is a guy who interviewed Joe Sloan last year, Blake Baker, I believe, last year as well. So he's done some really good interviews as well, and always gets really good access. And he's an awesome dude, and I think I could call him a friend. Jacob Verdin, really cool dude. And was the last time I saw him was in Vegas at the LSU USC game, and it was good to see him there. And hopefully I can see him again soon, because this guy's relentless and his film is epic, and we've got to get that on screen. But first, even John Eads, WAFB, caught this that we'll show as well. Hughes on Longstreet dropping a dime to Malik Elzy, another lengthy, stout, towering receiver LSU has brought in this portal window. Number 88 there, Malik Elzy. You also got like Roman Mothershed, who's just the dude looks like a mothership, not just a mothershed. He looks like a mothership. But that one's from John Eads right there of WAFB. I mean, Houston Longstreet, man. This is what we're kind of talking about, is there's just so much going on right now as far as LSU sports, because there is this palpable sense that this is a team that could actually do this season. This is from LSU football, so I will not say that this is from the Verdin Verdict, but this is from LSU football. As you can see, this is the Twitter, but the rest of the footage after this will be from Jacob Verdin. This was posted probably about 40 minutes ago. 40 minutes ago when I saw it. But this has just been posted just this afternoon by LSU football. Check this out. Winnie Watkins right there. Singleton. Ooh, there's that footage of Tradez over Deshaun Spears. And you gotta say, Deshaun Spears covering a 6'7" dude, that's actually really good coverage for like on most guys. 99% of receivers or tight ends. That's great coverage by a safety, Deshaun Spears. I mean, what a player. But this is Tradez Green. No passes and overthrow. It's unreal. PJ Woodland. We saw him talk to the media today. 84. I believe that's Roman Mothershed. I mean, who made this throw as well? Let's take a look at that. Does it show who makes this throw? Nope. Okay. I know it's a hype video. But it's just, it backs up what we're about to show you, okay? Jace Brown, I believe, #1 receiver. That was Trey Brown who was getting covered there on that last one that I showed you. No. That 84 is Tyree Holloway. That's not Roman Mothershed. Mothershed looks like a mothership, but still, even Tyree Holloway looks big. He had a bad drop at one point. I was told. Oh, there's a bunch of one-handed catches coming out here, guys. Bunch of one-handed catches. That's Jace Brown. Wow. Wow. Once again, I hate to say it, but stop running Sam Levitt, guys. Oh, like, guys, okay, we've got it. We now have enough. Like, wait until fall camp now. You've done it enough. Like, if he's still healthy after all this running, like, he's got to feel good, but, like, stop right there. No more. Please, God. And then if you have Landon Clark running this stuff, which you see right here, and like, run with Landon Clark, when you got Sam Levitt recovering from this injury, don't run him. If you utilize this time to let Landon Clark work on this part of his game, utilize this part of the offseason to let Houston Longstreet work on this part of his game. But I love that they have not, kept going with that experiment. I was worried for a second. I was like, oh my God. And it's like, oh, okay, thank God it's Landon Clark, not Sam Levitt. Ooh, who broke up that pass? Let me see that again. There's some more. There's a split second image of Trey Brown there, number 2. Oh, there's Pickett versus Trey Brown. That's a great battle right there. But this is a great play from Jakeem Jackson, who has gotten a lot of playing time this spring. There's been some sick pass breakups as much as there's been some just outrageous receiving plays. And you just love to see that back and forth, iron sharpens iron mentality, really showing out. What the hell happened here? What in God's name? Okay, whoa. Oh my God. What just happened here? Did he just take the ball from... Wow. Just took the ball off of Jabari Mack, who made the brilliant one-handed catch that everyone was talking about, even made SportsCenter. And now you see how good LSU is competitively when I believe that's Havon Finney, 37, right? Let me take a look at that. Sorry, guys. Trying to get all these names, trying to. No, that's Craig Walton Jr. who made that play. You're not going, Craig Walton Jr. is going to be a starter for LSU. You're not going into the season thinking that, but this is the type of play the 5th deep, 6th deep guy can make. He just took the ball from Jabari Mack. Who knows if that would have been like called a strip or a completed strip, and he was in bounds, maintained possession. Who knows? But it's at least an incomplete pass and a denial of a touchdown. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's a split-second little piece of film that they show you just like that. So sorry for delaying the other footage. Some of this is just a little interesting here. Ooh. See, look at this pass as well. Look at how the trajectory of this ball is. It's not letting me going back to that, but there it is. Boom. That's just a beautiful freaking pass, man. It's just a beautiful pass. Okay, here we go. Lane Kiffin, I love how he never is lazy about this stuff. He's out there jogging with his team. He's not going to be hot dogging it around like Brian Kelly was. And I like whatever. Brian Kelly's older guy. I don't really have a problem with it. But at the same time, it was like, I don't know. There's sometimes it came off like Elvis has left the building, with Brian Kelly. And I just love that he's in the foxhole with his guys, Lane Kiffin. And when it's active time, he's actually going to be moving his ass. I actually think there's something to respect about that big time. Especially you see a guy like Blake Baker doing that, highest paid assistant coach in the country. Chase Brown. Man, he looks good. I don't care how small they may say, oh, he's not ready for the SEC. He only did this at Kansas State. He looks fiery. He looks like a firecracker, this Chase Brown dude. And he looks like he can make a lot of different plays. Looks like he can make a ton of different plays. I don't know if you guys think that, but man, I just have a feeling about that. Hughes on Longstreet. Uncorking him. Philip Wright in the house here. Okay, let's see about this. Okay, that's a sick route. Beautiful pass there. I don't know. They changed the route names. Would that be a dig route now, or the different name for that? Houston Longstreet, man. We've shown it numerous times here. I know it's an open play. There's no challenging. That one's up to Eugene Wilson, Trey Wilson. Here comes Tyree Halloway. He's had a few ugly drops that I've seen in some film. Okay, okay. Comes Sam Levitt. Who's that to? 89 and then 88. Okay. Nojor Granger. Najor Granger. And then, of course, Malik Elzy. I keep forgetting that he's 88. So Najor Granger runs this pretty nice route here. Again, they're working on this. He makes that move and turn. That's a beautiful route. That's a little casual from Levitt. Like the delivery and all that. Like that's not going to cut it in the middle of an SEC football game. Like I'm gotta be like, but I get it. It's spring. And he's getting the flow of these things and stuff. But like, there's just too much air under that. A good DB is going to be able to make a play on that ball. We got to see sharper from Levitt here. Ooh. I mean, you guys are just out here. There's no defenders. So if you make these type of errors, it really not catchable. I don't know what that was. Ooh, whoa. I mean, this is getting bad here, guys. Come on. Chase Brown's got to catch that, but also he's just kind of hucking them up there a bit. Sam Levitt. I got to be honest with you. Like, I criticized that first pass, and I thought maybe you're being harsh. And then what followed was this. I mean, come on. Number 1 rated quarterback, you got to be better than that. Come on. I know it's spring. I know you're coming back from injury. Come on. I know you have 2 years, but so what? We want to do this. We want to win now. Let's go. And Longstreet, look at that, okay? There's at least some more urgency. Okay. There's more zip on that. There's more velocity on that. There's more speed on those passes. Even as fluffy as they might look, there's a subtle difference than what Sam Levitt was doing. Come on, Levitt. Come on. That's better, but low. At least it had a strike feel to it. Watch the feet. That's better. It's at least. I'm not some quarterback guru, but I don't want to see a duck coming out of a quarterback's hand. There we go. Jesus. Longstreet and Clark just bullet the blue sky, to quote U2. My God. Guys, the arm talent from both these quarterbacks is incredible. And maybe Sam Levitt doesn't have that right now as he's coming back from injury, but by fall camp, guaranteed Levitt will have all of his bearings back. That is what Sam Levitt's about right there. Watch how that is mechanically right on the money. And I know he's just kind of hanging out there and it's a little low, but like that's a lot better than what he was doing the last few reps here. Those kind of comical passes. There we go. And you can see Charlie Weiss Jr. talking to Levitt here. And I wonder, can we get a lip reader? My God, I want to know what he's saying. That purple guy's like, throw me the ball, I'm open. Those guys are always so weird in those practices. Jackson Harris there, number 4. I don't know. Sam Levitt right now is passing, and some of this is my own personal paranoia and worry about his health and wanting him to be 100% and wanting to see the real Sam Levitt. I don't want to see a compromised talent like he, the talent that he has fully unleashed could be absolutely Heisman worthy, special. And this is the platform to make that happen at LSU. I want to see every chance. Email Picarella there. I want to see every chance for the fans, the opposition, of course, everyone to see the full Sam Levitt. Damn, Landon Clark, man, makes some beautiful off-platform throwing there. Just the guy really has every type of passing acumen you could think of. I've seen a lot of different film, a lot of different situations. I want to see him on the run more, but some of the off-platform stuff is still sick, and that's what they're practicing here. Kind of this simulated, you're having to back up, but you still have to back up with the mechanical noose. Oh, did he get the feet in? Guys, Longstreet has such touch on his passes. Even that one looked like a floater. It got to Jace Brown and immediately. And look at how much time they are getting in these practices. How many reps they're getting in. Okay, Sam Levitt, beautiful here. Okay, that's sexy. That's sexy. Winnie Watkins right there in the corner. Boom. Catchable, perfect velocity. Someone maybe you could make a play on it if they're a great DB, but that's another one. That's right where only your guy can get it on the outside left shoulder. I'm going to reel that in. That's sick. Landon Clark. Najor Granger with the catch there. 89. Oh, Philip Wright the third, guys. Okay, this is not a fluke anymore. This is a player who continues to make these plays. Oh my God. We got to watch that again. And once again, of course, this is filmed by the Verdin verdict. Look at that. You can see it in the air. This is like the JFK assassination. It's like we're dissecting the JFK assassination, guys. This is outrageous. Oh, sorry. This is the ball in the air. Oh, man. And now you can get a feel for just how hard of a pass. This is Landon Clark, right? Who threw this one? Throws to Granger right here. Yeah, I think this is Landon Clark again. Yep. Clark to right. Oh, baby. Oh, man. What a shot here by Verdin Verdict. Absolute just football pornography here for all of you. Football erotica. I mean, Philip Wright, how many times has he made these outrageous catches? It's outrageous. It's crazy. This is at least the 5th, maybe 6th, just brilliant catch I've seen from him just this spring. I don't want this kid to be blown up into too much pressure where, oh my God, you're making catches in spring, you're the anointed one. I don't want that to happen. Oh shoot. Hey Jordan. Was that issue fixed? I hope because from my end I can see it. Is it still not showing anything? Because it looks like my StreamYard's showing it. I saw that for a second in another video but I've been making sure I'm not making that mistake again today, I believe. I would have no, I hope I can see it on the StreamYard like it should be. Let me know if it's not coming up on your end, because I can literally see on my StreamYard on the stream that you're able to see Philip Wright's one-handed catch. I hope we didn't miss any other footage from that before, because I was monitoring it, going back and forth to make sure that wasn't an issue. So hopefully that isn't a continuing issue. If it is, Jordan, let us know in the comment section, or anyone else, because oh, okay, but when I press play, does it show, Jordan? Let's watch that. Let's see. Yeah, it's playing. Houston Longstreet. Right there to Eugene Wilson again. This is so quarterback focused, and I love it, because we really get this is a great inside look at the competitive nature of this room. The receiving core as well. The weapons oh. And this is the thing. I didn't see, I mean, we did a lot of, spring drills with the receiving core and passing game like we usually would, right? With Nussmeier and all this stuff. They took it very easy, though, last year. And you didn't see this much work. I mean, I bet Jordan will now comment, there's an ad. You didn't see this much work where they're getting more reps in. They're getting like 10 plus more reps in, it feels, than Brian Kelly's teams would. Like, in every position group, they're getting at least 10 plus more reps in than last season. I would absolutely bet on that. That's an underestimate, probably, too. Is that a drop by Elsie, or is that a bad pass? Kind of both, but a lot of one-handed catches. They're going to kind of expect you to pull that thing in. Naquan Granger. Oh, that's a bad drop there. Who dropped that? Was that Winnie Watkins? Trey Wilson. Oh, shoot. Maybe when I'm in full screen, it won't show it live. I don't know. That's weird. Because I watched my shows recently back, and I didn't see any issues with them when I was doing it. So I'm getting used to this new laptop. I'm using a different browser than I usually would. Maybe I should go back to the browser I was using, and it would be definitely a lot smoother, I think. We might do that, but still. How you doing tonight, Jordan? How you doing tonight, my man? Now, here's the real dope. Here's really what I want to see. This is really what I want to see more than anything, guys. How these teams line up, the first team, second team, and how they're doing these simultaneous practices. First team on one field, second team on the other. They're filming it, and then they're going to go over the film later. Okay, here's the thing. We talked about this last time, where it was Seaton versus Prince Will on the left tackle to edge rusher battle, and how absolutely epic that battle was. And the film that Jacob Verdin was filming was just ridiculous. It was showing Seaton bouncing on it, those feet, and just kind of handling Prince Will. I mean, doing a little bit of holding as well, kind of getting away with being a little nasty, but that's what you do. And that's kind of what I expect from an experienced, brutal, really worth every penny left tackle. And you can see him right there, number 77. 75 is still Weston Davis. Weston Davis is still your starting right tackle. Who would have said that coming into this season? Who would have said that Weston Davis still would have be here? You know, so okay, Christmas 2025. You're seeing all these offensive linemen kind of, they're going to go in the portal. You're starting to hear the names and stuff like that. Would you expect A, Kiffin and company to keep Weston Davis around, and then B, to start him? C, that he wouldn't transfer himself? It's wild. It's absolutely wild. And you've got Weston Davis starting at right tackle for you. And this has been an ongoing thing. And here's the thing. They've used some combo blocking, some tight ends, some more traditional tight ends like Malachi Thomas out there to help block. But I've also seen Weston Davis isolated, and he's been a lot better than he was last season. It's maybe it's just a spring fever thing. I don't know. But it's definitely weird. There's definitely some type of voodoo going on. It's bizarre. Braylon Moore there at center. And 55, I swear Alu Ba is still your right guard. Alu Ba, still your right guard. And then your left guard, number 70. And I don't think this is going to surprise too many, but it's Devin Harper from Ole Miss. So, and then Harlem Berry, of course, there at running back. And Landon Clark, Tradez Green over here. So, yeah, Tradez Green is given that gold don't hit me jersey. And then the jersey went from black to gold. Okay, what the hell happened here? Let's just let this develop. Whoa! What a play here. Fuck, what just happened here? Okay. So they have Deshaun Spears blitzing. Landon Clark comes up in the pocket. Everything's collapsing around him. Harlem Berry is actually he's getting beat out of the way, but he's at least doing enough to slow his guy down blocking wise. And then Landon Clark uncorks that deep Tradez Green wide open behind the defense. Brilliant. So, like, they have Tradez Green go in motion over from inline tight end over here to the right. Clark looking left, goes up into the pocket, uncorks it, boom. He's wide open. He is wide open. So that's kind of like a tricky rub route or something probably going on to the right that they did not, that we didn't see. And they're probably like, look where they're set up. They're doing everything so that the media won't be able to see this because they don't want this to end up on the film reels. Because this is beautiful stuff right here. Okay, you got Davon Keys at Mike linebacker. TJ Daughtery and Davon Keys together. Ooh, okay, watch this, guys. Oh, nice play. Nice play by Woodland at the end there, too. And you look at this guy. Benefield is always in coverage. He's always in like a coverage available spot as well. Does Woodland get called for interference here? Absolutely, he gets called for that. And Corey Ramsey will let him know that. There's so much going on here. Watch Devin Harper just miss this block on Davon Keys. And Davon Keys, he gets contacted. He doesn't stop. This is beautiful. And he's flying at Landon Clark, hell-bent for leather. Man, he forces that to kind of be an early errant throw, and if not for that pass interference, maybe they don't call it. Maybe they see that both are kind of jockeying for position and they don't throw it. But that was a like Devin Harper. I get why he's going to get the look in first. They know him. He's from Ole Miss, all that stuff. But that is a lot of people talking shit on Davon Keys at the end of last year, even though he led the team in tackles. He was making a lot of thankless touchdown-saving stops, and then it was Keys got burned on that play, and it was like, actually, he's the one who saved that play from being a touchdown. Yes, he made some mistakes. Yes, he made some errors. Not going to sugarcoat that, but nowhere near the problem. And now you're seeing him just have an awesome spring so far, Davon Keys. Like he's always, like the last few years, there's been one of the Weeks brothers out, either West and then Witt last year, and now with Witt again. So Davon Keys has had a ton of time to practice in these springs as a first-team linebacker. And I think you're starting to see the growth. Led the team in tackles. That's got to count for something, especially for a guy who started off the bench. You know, he basically started just half the season. Some running back practice. There's Caden Durham. I mean, does he look bulkier? I hope not. I'm already seeing Guillory Jr. and then we have a white running back this year, guys. And then we have a white safety. It's a sign that LSU are going to win a title. I'm telling you. When those stars align, LSU wins a title. Here comes Sam Levitt. Practicing that kind of RPO delay handoff. I don't like the delay handoff play. You saw it run to its worst last year. So that might be kind of my PTSD with it. So I'll give him another chance with it. But here's the thing, guys. We cannot just be like, hey, give everybody a pass because they were good at this such and such a place, or they produced this at such and such. We need to see it here at LSU. Rod Gainey Jr., number 24 there, 25. Nice. Is this that's Stacy Gage, number 23. Okay, so you got Caden Durham there. They're running this play. I like this, but 23 Stacy Gage really put some oomph into this. Harlan Berry there. Stacy Gage. Boom. Felt more physically believable. Okay, a little bit more running with Levitt here. Like I said before, like I'm not going to freak out about it. Like they're going to do what they're going to do. We got three really talented quarterbacks. One of them, only one of them, I really believe is ready to start a full season in the SEC and take on the challenges that this team is going to have to take on to gel and to come together as an offense. That's going to be Sam Levitt. I believe a ton in Landon Clark, though. I really love what I see from him. I love what I see from Houston Longstreet. And then there's Emile Picarella, awesome dude in the quarterback room as well. You have a strong. I mean, this is perhaps, and I know this is just on paper. Hey, if you make it if you make at least 150K per year, I'll get you shredded, man. That's a great line. I only take clients that make $1 million. Sounds like Jeffrey Epstein tactics. But I really I want to see these quarterbacks go through some adversity and how they react to it, because this might be the strongest, on paper at least, through spring, what we're seeing of these guys and what we know of their talents and abilities. This might be the strongest quarterback room LSU has had in years. I think you could maybe say since 2006, when you had let's think about this for a moment. You had Jamarcus Russell, you had Matt Flynn in the same quarterback room. Matt Flynn wins a title. Jamarcus Russell has a title by being on the roster from 2003. Had a Sugar Bowl win. Tons of big plays. One big season, really. Should have maybe come back another. But yeah, maybe is that the strongest quarterback room that LSU's had since then? I mean, JD5, Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, shit, Nussmeier, the amount of passing yards and touchdowns that he had in his first season as a starter as well. Can't just oh, that doesn't count. Yeah, it does. That means a whole lot. I mean, he's passing that for that much with kind of a weaker receiving core. No more Brian Thomas Jr., of course, with his height, with his acrobatic plays, and then no more all-time leading receiver in Malik Neighbors. And both had a tight chemistry with Garrett Nussmeier because they played so much together off the bench. You know, Nuss had to improvise with what he had, and he dinked and dunked for a top 5 all-time LSU passing season, as well as being the all-time leading LSU season in passing yards for a quarterback's first season as a Tiger. So, you know, maybe the 2023 quarterback room, 2022, 2023 quarterback room, with JD5 and Nuss. You got a Heisman winner in there, and then you have a guy who actually did fully start a season, technically 2, but my God, I feel so horrible for what happened in the second one, because they did not want to take the dream. They did not want to take the moment from Nuss, and instead it just made it worse, because he just got more and more injured. It was horrible. Malik Elzy there. Jackson Harris. Ooh, I like that catch. 82. I'm sorry, guys. There is so many freaking new Tigers. Anyone who tries to pretend like they know every single name of every guy on this team is a liar. There's so I've studied this roster back and forth. There is so much to go through. I mean, not only that, there's a lot of guys with the same damn names. There's 15 different Browns. This is Roman Mothershed. I keep thinking he was 84. I kept thinking he was different numbers. 82. That was Roman Mothershed. My bad on that one. Hulking. And he caught that in like a magnet. There's Jace Brown. Malik Elzy. Here's Jabari Mack again. You know, he had that play where he had the ball taken from him, and man, that's bad. That is just bad. Make the crazy one-hander, and then you do that. I mean, come on, Jabari. This is you know, it's, from his lackadaisical play, having a football ripped out of your hands in that type of fashion by Craig Walton Jr., and then dropping balls like this and a few others. I mean, this isn't the first one we've gone over on this film. I think this is like the second at least, and then there's the strip. This has not been impressive from Jabari Mack. Hopefully he picks it up because he's still a freshman. He's got to prove every second to get playing time. He's not like guaranteed a starting position because he made ESPN Sports Center with a catch. Got to keep going. And no doubt he can. God, there's a lot of length, strength, and just towering inferno, aerial assassin menace, physicality, just size with this receiving core. I mean, and then you got differing profiles like Jace Brown, Eugene Wilson, smaller, Winnie Watkins, smaller, speedier, those are type of profiles that Kiffin has turned into 1,000-yard guys. Trey Harris, anyone? There's Mack again redeeming himself with a good catch there. We gotta shout that out if we're gonna criticize in the other one. Jace Brown, of course, as we just showed. Kevin Smith's running back room. Now, he's got a lot of work with Dylan Jones out of Wisconsin. That dude's solid. A brick house, a brick house powerhouse. I mean, this guy. Whew. Stacy Gage. Kevin Smith is a teacher. Great running back himself. And look at how he's talking. Look at how he's getting this across. He's just, there's so much energy and let's go. This is the type of guy you want to follow. Into the fire. Reed Chauvin there, number 39, the white running back. I love it. I'm not trying to make a racial thing. It's just kind of a funny joke, a running gag that LSU haven't had a white running back since Jacob Hester, which probably isn't true, but I'm just saying that as a joke, and a white safety since Greg Stelz. And so now that we have them back, we now have white safety, right running back. I smell a championship, guys. Just Harlem Berry, I don't understand people who said that Harlem Berry doesn't look bigger or whatever, or he doesn't look like people are said that are stupid. He's gained 14 pounds. He's perfectly adept for what's about to come. He had a hell of a first season. He barely received any reps. Guarantee the second one be even better. It's Craig Walton Jr. lighting that dummy up. Man, DJ Pickett is just huge. So is Jakeem Jackson. Look at these guys. PJ Woodland looks way bigger than he did last season. And that is an accomplishment. I believe that's Aiden Hall, 23. Ooh. Pickett versus Jakeem Jackson there. A little mano a mano. There goes Pickett. Smash that shit. Just outrageous. Look at that. Landon Clark, a great play there, guys. That's a great play right there. Just great play. Just fantastic play calling once again as well. Just getting the defense moving. Forcing the defense to cover every damn blade of grass. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, watch this. Watch Jordan Seaton right here. This is awesome. Watch this. Watch Jordan Seaton, 77, okay? I'm going to point. He's right there on, you can see him on your right at left tackle, okay? Look at him. He's going, let's go, let's go. Out of nowhere. Who knows what he's saying underneath the helmet if you can't see it, but he's looking over there. You can see Landon Clark's making his checks, and he's going through his checks a little casually. Watch Landon Clark's reaction back here in the gold when Jordan Seaton starts doing the windmill. Like, let's fucking go. Look at that. Boom. Man, Clark. Okay. He's got some moves, guys. Landon Clark has actually got some dual threat rushing moves. This is a little wild. Thank you, Al Diamond. My man Al Diamond just did a really cool retweet for us. That's cool of you, man. Thank you, brother. Always love when Al Diamond is able to read our stuff or watch our stuff. He's a great LSU Tiger fan and a scholar and a legend. Braylon Moore calling him out. Good communication. Sam Levitt looks so damn eager to play. He's like, God. But he's got to watch Landon Clark and Houston Longstreet run the offenses. You're definitely seeing that both Clark. Ooh, where the hell is that going? You're definitely seeing that both Clark and Houston Longstreet are getting first team reps. It's not just like one has been relegated to the third string and the other second. They're competing for that second string / potentially first string if needed to be called upon for that gig. Offense did not know what the hell they were doing there. There was some big miscommunication. Kiffin had to go in there and fix that. Some talking to Harlem Berry. Jace Brown, guys. He's going to be a player. He's going to be a player. He's going to be playing a lot of football for the Tigers. I can just feel it. I hope they don't waste him on like special teams or something. Like, maybe he'll make some plays on special teams, but I just feel like he's got so much to add to the receiving game. Just a burner over the middle. Clark trying to escape. Got a guy raising a green sign that says Falcon, so I guess that's the defensive call. Maybe that's time for them to watch like Lane Kiffin like put a falcon on his arm or something. Got this ad. Horrifying things we can't control, sadly. So we'll do the best we can. Tight ends catching the football over here. Now, Trades Green, all these guys putting on the black jersey, they're not going to want to wear that thing in fall camp. I will tell you that much. Spring camp always feels so good down there. That's why I just miss being down there so much. Hopefully we can get down there. There are a few people who might be willing to help us get down there, and I'm going to do whatever I can to try and get you guys the best, absolutely the best content possible. The size here is crazy from our tight ends, guys. Whew. I mean, my Lord. Malachi Thomas is a absolute, I mean, woo, what in the Empire State Building is going on here? I mean, what? The dude is a skyscraper. And then you got Trades Green as well. They're just working on the passing game like crazy. JD LaFleur has got to be somewhere in there as well. Young tight end. Landon Craig as well. Then, of course, Trades Green himself, the man himself. Now, the tight ends aren't going to be used like you think. They're going to be used in very, very much more traditional ways. And then they're going to do what Kiffin has done to LSU over the last few years when he's been coaching Ole Miss, which is kill us with these traditional tight ends. They're inline blocking for 10 straight plays. You don't think you have to worry about them. The safety cheats a little, the nickel cheats a little, and he's able to actually work you on a route and get a 50, 60-yard play. Malachi Thomas could be that guy for LSU this season, who could actually break defenses. When you're expecting Trades Green, you're expecting, Jace Brown, you're expecting Trey Wilson, you're expecting a wide variety of guys. Trey Brown. You have so many freaking weapons at receiver. It's ridiculous. Jabari Mack is the freshman right there. Here's Trey Brown running some routes, catching a football. I have not been able to see much sustained footage of him actually catching the football. But you've got so many weapons here that you can absolutely roast teams. Just love it. Just love it. Jackson Harris, you have so many weapons. Whereas last year, I felt like you had a lot of weapons in the receiving core. You just did not know how to utilize them. It feels like they're running the right routes that kind of show some intent. What the hell? Who threw that? Landon Clark. See, that's the one thing is, as good as Landon Clark has looked, there's been 6 or 7 throws where Clark just like absolutely throws a duck. So, starter ready, I'm not so sure. This is a big step up for him, but at the same time, he's shown a lot of promise. But he's got some things to work on in his game. Just like me, I got a lot of things to work on in my game too, in my own career. We all, it's one of them is, not worrying so much about what certain folks will say. Jace Brown with another catch right there. Jace Brown's been all over this film, guys. And I like that they're just using him traditionally, and they're not going to show you how they're actually going to use him, which is, I believe, across the formation, jet sweeps, a lot of creativity. They're just not showing it out there. They're using him more traditionally when the media is there. Kiffin knows what he's doing. He's not just going to let them out there, full practices, film it, the whole thing, all that stuff. Like Kelly gave access to kind of make it into a movie. He didn't understand that he was absolutely tipping off the opponents. Kiffin understands that. He will do things such as blast music to make a video get banned off YouTube. He'll do all sorts of little tricks when he uses the media to, when he has the media come in, things like that. And he'll use these different tactics to be able to give his opponents as the least amount of information possible, obviously. These are kind of the stars, DBs here practicing with Blake Baker. You got Deshaun Spears, 31, CJ Jim Coyley, PJ Woodland. You know, this has just got to tell everybody that I really do believe this is they might have some rotations at this spot. I really do think like they're going to have a few different guys at this spot. Sorry, everybody. Thought I heard a weird, very strange noise out there. Had to investigate. I think they're going to be using a few different stars. I think you're going to have not just one guy, not just two guys, and it seems like this is it, not all over the place or something like that. Not like it's been disorganized how they've been trying to find the next star. I think it's been more experimental though, and definitely more varied in what I think they understand that you can't just have a star that has certain deficiencies and he's going to be on the field every single play, because then okay, they're going to have this guy at star and he sucks in coverage. Well, then we're going to have a pass heavy game, guard us for 4 quarters. You're not going to be able to hang with us, or, a guy who's more finesse and he can't handle a power running game or a dual threat quarterback. Well, then you know what you're going to do. You're going to run heavy. You're going to power it up the middle, and then you're going to have the quarterback do some RPO keepers and some stuff like that and try and get them to break contain and get lost in the gaps and burn them on the outside. You're going to run a kind of more medieval metal up your ass type of offensive attack. I think that's just what's beautiful here, is that there's really a new philosophy here with the star position, where instead of just, okay, Harold Perkins is your guy there, or maybe this year Deshaun Spears is your guy. I think what we're looking at is maybe, okay, Deshaun Spears is your guy, but then we're going to have him move to safety at a certain point, and then Ty Benefield switches to star/nickel to come down and cover the slot receiver, or this tight end that they move into the slot. I remember saying that, actually, and I'll tell you a funny story real quick. This is how much football was changing, and I knew it was going to change, and people thought I was a fool. In 2020, I made a comment that you would be putting Eric Gilbert in the slot every play because no one would be able to cover him. No one would be able to stop him. You couldn't be able to handle him. He'd go up for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on average a game. Like, I was like, literally, this guy is unguardable. Just feed him the football nonstop. Trey'Dez Green might be in that category too. And people literally laughed and said, "You don't put a tight end in the slot. What are you thinking?" And it's like, it's funny. Everyone goes in the slot now. If you have special athletic prowess, whether that's yards after catch, burst, you're just absolute dynamic speed and athleticism, no one can handle it. Those type of attributes, well, you put them in the slot. You line them up in the slot on occasion because it's going to pay massive dividends. They're going to burn everybody for maximum yards, maximum impact, big plays, explosive plays. Those are where your explosives usually come from. Taking advantage, full advantage of the athletic skill sets at your disposal. And so if you have a variety of guys at star, guys like who can cover the passing game, they come in, they cover the passing game. They have a guy who can cover the run more from the star position. It just depends on the play, and maybe you can even switch that within the formation itself because of the versatility of a guy like Deshaun Spears or Ty Benefield. You can have Benefield Cooley at safety, okay, and then you could have Deshaun Spears at star, and then say you have Keys and Weeks at linebacker. What you could do is literally within, oh God, no, the formation's different. Okay, it's more coverage, and Deshaun Spears is not good in this matchup. You could very quickly, in the same like pre-snap kind of communication, go, hey, yo, 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 and have Deshaun Spears move back to safety and have Ty Benefield come down into the star position / nickel, go and cover that guy in the slot. Like, you have the versatility and the flexibility with the certain characters at that safety, star, secondary kind of position where there's some very interesting personnel decisions that LSU are going to be making. CJ Jim Coyley, 31. That guy is massive, massive, and I think he has every opportunity where maybe not play a lot of snaps or even a bunch of snaps, maybe like 100, 150 snaps this season. CJ Jim Coyley. But I think even if he plays that much, he could be like the Marcel Brooks of this team, where he is just an absolute wild card. And he's going to come off the edge, blitz you. He's going to drop into coverage all of a sudden, maybe get a batted pass that turns into a pick. He's got size, strength, skill. He's very athletically skilled, where he can mirror guys and routes, and at least even if he can't cover as well as maybe you would expect or hope him to be with his athleticism, his length and his like pure size and his speed give him every opportunity of just at least being there to make the play, which is literally like a lot of it. So like if he can at least just get his long hand in there, who knows? And so Jim Coyley is a player that's very interesting to me, because is he a linebacker? Is he an edge rusher? Is he a safety? Is he a star? All of the above. You have to find a role for this guy quick, or his development is at risk, as we've seen with a lot of different guys. I'm not saying CJ Jim Coyley is anywhere on Harold Perkins' level. I'm not saying anything like that, or on these other guys' level. I'm not saying that. But as one of those profiles of like an athlete who can play a few different positions, these versatility, just the versatility apex is just out to beyond the ultimate of what this kid could be. You really want to be careful and make sure you find a defined role for him as well, though, and how he's utilized, you can get creative, and how he's utilized, you can kind of show off his flexibility within a formation, his versatility. But you want to find that defined role so that he has the structure and the backbone to then be able to become a coach on the field, basically, and call his own shots, be able to have those instincts and be able to make those plays because he trusts himself. He doesn't have to keep looking over for daddy coach to hold his hand. And that's the step that certain guys don't take. And that's the step that we need this coaching staff to be brewing within all of these guys. That you constantly need to be developing this talent, because LSU are loaded with unbelievable talents all over this roster. Defensively, offensively. And I want to see them take full advantage of this. And I love that Jordan Seaton said it. He said, we're not here to win a title next year. We're here to win a title this year. We're here to win this year. We're here to be dominant this year. We're here to do it this year. And if you're not of that mindset, this is not the right place for you. I believe it was him, Jordan Seaton, who said that. And he's right. He is absolutely right. This is, this says it right here. Does Georgia have as many titles as this? Does Ole Miss have as many titles as this, or even anywhere close? Clemson? No. Ohio State? No. Oklahoma? No. Texas? No. Texas A&M? We don't even talk about it. Florida? Like some of the other teams we just mentioned, like somewhat, maybe half, but not close. Auburn. Without Cam Newton, where the hell would they be? No disrespect. I love you, Jake Crane. I'm not ripping on you. Just having a laugh at Auburn. But seriously, I know that's not as. There's been some wasted seasons in here too. LSU should have won one maybe in 2013, 2015. You can argue. Some of those teams, that 05 team, 06. Some of these teams, no, maybe not 05. Okay, take that back. 06 for sure should have won a title. There's just these teams that LSU wasted big time. So there should be like at least 3 more on the board there, and that's not counting some others that I'm really sickened about. 2018, you beat Alabama, and who the hell knows where that season ends up? You made it to a Fiesta Bowl that year. You made it to a technically a BCS Bowl, a New Year's Six Bowl that year. So who knows where that ends up? Paul Tarver, my brother. What's up, Paul? Paul says Lane will have multiple options on offense and defense to maneuver as game conditions dictate. Offense will be able to run at breakneck speed to wear down opposition defense. Brother, that's what I want to see the most, is a running game that can just put the foot to the throat and dominate. And just go to town. And just absolutely, not just wear down, but bloody and bash the opposition. Really work them into the ground, like LSU teams used to do. And once LSU lost part of that identity, you it wasn't like you continued into this finesse era. You completely, the wheels went out from underneath the program. I mean, 2021, 2020, the disappointment, shocking disappointment of 2025. A team that should have won a title in 2023 as well. What are we doing? We should have talked about 2023 as well being up there. That's a team that the offense just needed a turnover a game. You can play as shitty defense as you want. If you had just given Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. and company, Will Campbell and those guys just one fumble recovery or one interception a game, you're probably winning a national championship, destroying Michigan in that title game. Like, it's unbelievable to me how LSU is not thought of more as college football royalty. But damn it, Lane Kiffin is here, and he's going to make sure that that is what is respected from now on, because this is LSU, baby. And you look everywhere here. You look at everything LSU has on roster, on staff, and you just got to look around and say, how can this not fail? How can this, I mean, how can this not fail? Sorry. How can this fail? How could this possibly fail? How could there ever be a season under Kiffin where LSU is outside of the top 25, not making a college football playoff? Could that actually happen? Could we actually see that? I think the answer I really think the answer is a definitely no. I think the answer is, sure, maybe there'll be that one in a couple seasons where LSU have a rebuild or something and they don't make the playoff. But I really just see it right now that as long as LSU, and you don't have to put in $40 million every single season. Hopefully not. But if LSU continue going in this trajectory of dominating on the trail the way that they have recruiting-wise and in the portal, LSU have a strong roster for the next few years here. You've got a lot of guys on your roster now that have multiple years of eligibility. And not just that, but guys who have like 3 or 4. You brought in a lot of highly touted transfer guys who are like redshirt freshmen redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores, and have at least a little bit of on-field experience. That you have that on tap to call from. So it's very intriguing to me about where this LSU football squad could be continuing on in the Kiffin era. Sky feels like the limit. It feels like there's titles out there to win right now. It feels like there's some real possibilities. Some real possibilities for LSU. But they've got to prove it on the field. You've got to win the games. You've got to close out opponents. You got to finish off opponents when you've got them early. And that's the thing we haven't seen with that. That's the one thing I will say with Kiffin's head coaching tenure at Ole Miss. He would be able to start really strong so many times, put the foot on the throat, and really get ahead in these games and really be dominant. And then somehow or another, they'd give away the game. And that's something we need to see take that next step, at LSU for Lane Kiffin, is to really absolutely tear the face off of your enemies. Break the faces of your enemies. When you have them up, early, just keep going. Throw it to Trey Green again. Get him that 4th touchdown in the first half. And as you saw Lamar Brown, who's about to be, he's going to come to school in the next few months, but he's still not on campus, not till late May, early June. But he was there watching practice. Just wants to be a part of it badly, very badly. You can see it in him. But I think LSU are in a great spot with Lane Kiffin. Like, I think it's not just because Kiffin. I think it's also the staff Lane Kiffin's put around him. I think it's the alignment from a guy like Verge Osbury, from a guy like, Billy Glasscock, who's really worked his magic in the portal as a GM, has really been solid, really delivered as a GM for LSU in a very short time. The number 1 portal class, number 1 quarterback, another top 10 quarterback, number 1 offensive lineman, number 1 edge rusher. Should have been that ranked the number 1 safety with Ty Benefield. Numerous top 10 receivers. You at least got enough names out of the portal offensive line wise for me to feel like, okay, you've got enough guys to work with, but now you've got to find the right mix. Like, that's a whole different story, but you've at least put yourself in a situation where you have at least the talent to call upon and the names to call upon to kind of put the pieces together. I'm looking at it everywhere, and I think outside of maybe offensive interior, defensive interior, which areas I still have questions until we see it in a game. I still have questions until I see it in a game, but I have a really good feeling about what some of these freshmen could do at defensive tackle. Big Rich Anderson, Deuce Geralds, those guys could absolutely wreck it up from the defensive tackle spot. You've got a lot more than you think. Offensive interior, it's really going to be how well can Jordan Seaton coach on the field and kind of bring a guy like Devin Harper along. Is a guy like Weston Davis going to really start for this team at right tackle? That would be shocking, but it looks like that's what's going to be happening. Paul Tarver says LSU will be tagged the villain in college football this year. We should probably don the V on our jersey, then go out and kick butt every week. Embrace it. LSU's always been considered the villain and the bad guy and the hated. So like possibly that's why I was subconsciously attracted to being an LSU Tiger in the first place. But it's about winning games, and it doesn't matter about the V or what anyone else thinks about you. Just ignore that and let the people talk and let them go nuts or whatever. But you don't feel like villains unto yourselves. So just you want to see the team gel. You want to see there be camaraderie within the locker room, and just go out and kick some ass and win some games. That's it. Go out, kick some ass, win 10, 11 games. You'll get in the playoff. You'll have a chance to win a national championship, which is all that matters when you're talking about Lane Kiffin needing to fulfill expectations and maybe get rid of some of the pressure that's on his back going into this season. And there will be pressure, and you know the people who hate Lane Kiffin will ratchet it up, ratchet it up, ratchet it up. You know that. They'll definitely be getting that ratcheting up the hatred of Lane Kiffin as the season begins. And you know that. We all know this. We all know this is coming. But I really think that there's a lot to look forward to in the future for this team. I think this team has something about them that makes me feel like they're actually going to be a contender this season. They're actually in a spot where they can contend. And Paul, villain or whatever they want to call us, okay. But LSU have to be okay, inside as people, as players in that locker room, as coaches, to go out and take care of business. And it doesn't matter at that point what this person said or about you or what, like you have to go out and take care of business. That's it. And that's going to define your season. And that's going to decide Lane Kiffin's tenure at LSU and whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of talking in the offseason. So we want that to be, continue like it's been good talk for Kiffin's way. You want to see that continuing. And you want to see a guy of this type of energy, this type of work ethic, this type of investment in LSU. You want to see him stay as a Tigers coach. You want to see this guy stay with the program as long as possible. And for me, results are one thing, and it's sad that like you fire coaches year to year based on that type of stuff, but results are everything. And he's got to win games at LSU. It can't just be the Kiffin brand and all this stuff. Like, he's got to win games. That's and so I am gonna back Kiffin fully. Like, I love that he's our coach. I love the energy, the enthusiasm, the entertainment of Kiffin. I love the offensive aggression. I love the intensity. I love so much about what Lane Kiffin stands for and what he does and what he tries to, the shape he tries to carve his teams into. I have a lot of respect and admiration for that. But like anything, you've got to produce and you got to win games. And he knows that. He understands that. And I think he's ready for that challenge. He's ready for that expectation that just was never going to be there. That challenge was never going to be there at Ole Miss, because what he did last year was like their Super Bowl. And that was just getting to the semifinals. One season. A team that's never qualified for an SEC title game, still didn't last year. It's at LSU, he was going to actually receive that challenge. At LSU, he's actually going to at least receive these opportunities to play on these stages. Ole Miss, he was the one who had to drag that team over the line to earn that. To earn that chance, to earn that spot. So I think LSU are in really good hands with Lane Kiffin and where this is going right now. And I love that we've got Jordan Seaton at left tackle. Without Jordan Seaton on this offensive line, I'm worried. I'm very worried without Jordan Seaton at left tackle. With Jordan Seaton, with Braylon Moore, offensive line looks like it can at least do some damage, right? It can win some games for us. Alu Ba at right guard, Devin Harper at left guard. Is that going to be is that going to be a stable pairing as your guards? We'll see. They look okay in practices, but it's hard to tell in spring practice when everything's touch and no tackling. It's really going to be hard to fully tell exactly what your best offensive line combination is, especially from a media standpoint where you're not seeing as much as you did from the Kelly era. I mean, the Kelly era, we had a staff hookup that was just able to give us as much film as we possibly could handle to watch. I mean, it was ridiculous. So, don't think that will be possible with Kiffin. I think they're making sure that's under lock and key. But still, we dissected a ton of film tonight. Definitely check it out. We had a lot of fun with you guys. Definitely check everything at LSUODYSSEY.com, because we just put out a big time profile on Zach Weeks, linebacker at LSU, star potentially at LSU. He's been practicing at Star as well. Really big edge rushing weapon for LSU. We did a profile on him, a written profile on LSUODYSSEY.com, and you actually can watch an interview I did with Zach I think it was last year, or maybe like 8 or 9 months ago, something like that. It was right before last season, where we interviewed Zach Weeks on the channel. So you can also watch that on here on our channel, is an interview with Zach Weeks if you want to get to know him more. And then we also wrote the profile, his profile article, just barely came out, just barely was released just last night. So definitely check that out. We also have deep dive spring notes, all the stuff we've been noticing from practices so far from spring camp. Definitely check that out. And once again, all of the film that we showed here, except for the LSU film in the first part, and then the one from John Eads of WAFB. The rest was by Verdin Verdict. Definitely like and subscribe his stuff. You can see the screen grab from one of his videos. There's Jacob Verdin right there on the left. And then there's his show. Obviously, he was studying his own film that we were just checking out. And so everybody, thank you for watching. Definitely subscribe and like all of Jacob Verdin's stuff, and get into what he's doing, because, man, he's definitely subscribe to his Instagram too, because there's a lot of cool visual stuff he's putting up on the Instagram that's just blows my fucking mind a lot of different times, where I'm like, and here's the thing too, you see a lot of people, a lot of accounts steal, absolutely just outright steal his stuff and kind of pass it off as their own. And that's disgusting. Whether an account or a creator or a person whether they like me or don't like me, I'm going to credit them if it's their stuff. I'm not going to take it from them. Like, I don't understand why people do that. It's so disgusting. And they, oh, well, I'm getting a bunch of hits. Even if you're mad at me, I can burn that bridge of that relationship because I don't really care. Like, people can just be a little gross with this stuff. So just, definitely back what this guy's doing. I absolutely love and support Jacob Verdin. Great dude. And really appreciate him letting us use his footage to show and study all the nooks and crannies of this team so far that we're able to see, because, man, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to be seen, and there's a lot to be shown. There's a lot to dissect. There's some stuff that's completely over my head. I don't know my X's and O's as much as, say, Car to the Power does. But, we try our best. Everybody, thank you for watching. Go Tigers as always, and have a good rest of your night, baby.